start developing that friendship. You see yourself, you see your ugly face, you see so many things which you are trying to hide, trying to improve, trying to change. Just look there and say, yes, beautiful, this is my nature, this is my face. And then say yes to that face. And then once you start falling in love with yourself, nobody can stop you to fall in love with everything, all expressions of life. Because you start seeing the same beauty which you see in yourself. In every person, you see the same beauty. So I am just asking you to sit with yourself, be friendly with yourself. Don't sit with an idea that I want to change, I want to improve, or I want to achieve something, become something. Just relax and sit with yourself in the nature, absolutely away from your friends. Otherwise, you take a friend and you talk something nonsense. Normally, even if we go to the garden, we take some friends together. Find out at least some corner where you can just relax for half an hour, whatever time you have, and just sit there. It's not necessary that you should find a garden. Even in your room, in your house, just have some time for yourself. But when we are alone, we switch on the tape recorder, listen to Osho, or listen to some music, or switch on the TV, watch some program. You are never with yourself. Just nothing, no reading. I used to spend once in a week, all Thursdays, just with myself. No eating, that day fasting, total fasting. Closing my room, no receiving of telephones, no reading books, no listening music, but to be with myself. Silence. Not to talk to someone, not to come out of the room, just close yourself and be with yourself. In the beginning, very frightening. Very frightening. After 1 hour, you start frustrating from inside that, let me go out now, enough. But then, once you start friendship, then if you feel sleepy, you sleep, whatever you feel like, just relax as if you are the only person into this world, nobody else. I used to do so many years I did it. In that business, nothing, no business, no communication, nothing. And then the people started understanding that Thursday, Kiran is not available. Disappear. This helps a lot. That helps a lot. Because there are a lot of things which wants to come out, which wants to bubble up, because we have suppressed so many things inside. Let it come out. If you feel like crying, cry. Whatever reactions comes, just as if there is nobody there. You are alone. That's all. That's so beautiful. Then slowly, you really start enjoying it. Then once you understand, once you find that space inside, even with the crowd, you know when to go inside and relax. People just take mala and chant mantras, when they sit alone. I said, what are you doing? Same mind. Nothing. Don't give anything to the mind to hold.
But then you create a situation in your life. If you decide.
That was an impulse. That was an impulse from inside to go in this way. But when I am talking to you, it may be like you first begin with that whole knowledge, but then slowly it will become something like you really enjoy, because inside there is a longing to be alone, to be with oneself, if you really understand. The more you are into the state of acceptance, this inner field starts coming up, you see. But the mind misunderstands that if I cut off the relations with everyone, then I will be alone. Then that is a loneliness. But somewhere you have to begin, you know. That is the way. Somewhere you have to begin.
Because you suggest to take half an hour a day.
Hmm.
And then I think if I do it, it will be like I'm doing it.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Because you cannot avoid in the beginning to start something with a knowledge. You cannot avoid it. Till you reach to that point where you start getting the clarity of your impulses. See. But the direction is going to that point where you are helping to get the clarity of the impulses. So that doing, that is why I am saying that if you are practicing acceptance also, as a doing, doesn't matter, but it leads you to the right direction. It leads you to the right, but you should have the proper instructions of the path, of the way that you are going, then it takes you to the right direction, you see. No harm in going through the maps when you take a journey. You see, you need a map. Then once you start taking a journey, then your own knowing, your own understanding will start helping you. કોનો છે?
અહીંયા પડ્યો છે કોનો છે?
Who's
અરે આનો હતો.
હા phone is that?
બંધ કર્યો ચાલુ કર્યો.
ખબર નહીં.
You did not sit with closed eyes, not necessarily.
If there is somewhere the feel that I should lie down and close the eyes, I lie down and close the eyes. You go just the way there is a force, there is an impulse. To sit, you sit. To lie down, or to walk in the room, you can walk in the room. Anything that just tells you.
Except reading, listening, music.
These are the things which might push the mind into some kind of suppression or forgetfulness. You see, here you are making yourself available to the. That's something which wants to come out. When you suppress or forget, it just goes down. It just comes out. Maybe you go in thinking of some events that is happening in the past. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Whatever happens to the mind, whatever thoughts comes to the mind, doesn't matter. It is not particularly that you should be all the time bring the mind back and concentrate of. No meditation, nothing. It's just to be there, that's all. In whatever situations, the life goes on changing, the inner being goes on changing, inner mind goes on changing, everything goes on changing. And suddenly you will start feeling that you are just looking at it. It's just happening. You see, you are aware that it is happening, that's all. So next satsang will be with yourself.
What is the meaning of communion?
Communion is to communicate. When you are together with someone, the base of the meeting is to communicate. And when you want to communicate, you need a communion. That means a harmony between two. But normally we have a clash between the two. Then there is no communion. Communion word includes union.
No communication, but
So there should be a union, togetherness, oneness. Then that is the real communion.
like I look into your eyes, then I forget everything. Just something like coming from your eyes to my eyes, and I am lost. Like I don't know. It's just there is no mind, and whatever you're talking is just blank.
I'm playing some miracles. No, that is true that what you are saying, because when I look to your eyes, there is nobody who is looking. So it is an emptiness. So when you look into the emptiness, what you see is the emptiness.
Then my mind goes
You
blank,
go empty.
It's nothing.
You go empty.
I get confused. like what's happening to me looking into your eyes and
Eyes is the mirror of your being, you know. The first impression that comes of your inner change is reflected first to your eyes. Your eyes starts changing. It becomes more and more introvert. It's not out focusing out. Though you are looking out, it is somewhere in. That is the first change that is reflected. So I can make out from your eyes where you are. You cannot hide that. When I was traveling abroad, I was carrying my old passport, an old photograph on that passport. It was not expired, so I was carrying that passport. And first time when I went to Germany, that person who was on the immigration refused to believe that this is my photograph. She refused. Says, this is not your passport. You are not this man. Half an hour I was just trying to convince her, and she just refused. She says, no. I said, call your boss. I said, I have an American visa. American visa has your own photo, which it is now. So I told her that, look, my American visa has my new photograph there. But she did not believe. Then the boss came. They are more, because he is a boss, he knows, understand. So he looked to the photograph, he looked into my eyes and said, okay, yes.
I'm confused about what we were talking before, about if the mind has some desire, okay, and I said, okay, I'm not following this desire. I accept there is a desire, but then I become very irritated.
I become means who becomes? The mind.
The mind.
Naturally.
Okay, then I can say, okay, I will watch it. First of all, sometimes it doesn't let go. And I said, maybe I should do it and just forget about it, just to accept that this is what happened. But you said that
you are going in again in a non-acceptance of let me do something about it. The moment you think that you should do something about it is itself a non-acceptance of this state of the mind. You remain into that watchful state, that you are conscious now that first the mind has created a desire. You are aware that the mind has created desire. Now the mind has gone into frustration or reaction. You are aware that it has gone into reaction. You are just aware, that's all. Don't do anything about it.
But the feel from inside is that I'm trying to control the mind.
But before that, there must be a rejection. Very subtle rejection and subtle non-acceptance of this should not be.
What, the desire?
No, the second stage that has come, which is a reaction of the going after the desire. First you have the desire, you are conscious of the desire, you are aware of the desire. You don't follow the desire. When you don't follow the desire, mind goes into a reaction. You are then aware of the reaction that has happened to the mind. Now that reaction, when it happens, immediately there is a subtle non-acceptance of that reaction. Otherwise, there cannot be a feel which you are mentioning of doing something about it. But the third stage is, even though you just go into the non-acceptance, still you are not following the desire. Still you are staying there. So you say again with a consciousness, with an awareness that I accept that there is a field which wants to do something about it.
And still do nothing.
Stay there. In that staying, automatically, what has happened in between, your inner state has changed before. If you are with the mind, first stage, you are conscious that there is a desire. The second point, that acceptance has detached you from the identification, where you become aware of that what has become a reaction to the mind. You did not become frustrated, but you are aware of the frustration. You become conscious of the frustration. So that is itself a natural detachment happened, where you became the witnesser, not identified with that whole reaction.
But still the reaction is going on.
Yeah. I am not saying that it will go. It is not that miracle that the moment you accept, it will go. It will take its own time, because you triggered something as a disturbance.
And what about that feeling that I'm trying to control?
That also is a part of that whole reaction. It is not that you are trying to control, but it is somewhere a mental understanding that it has to be controlled. It has to do something about it. So that point you just wake up and say yes to that also. But you don't go into the direction of doing something about it, but you are just watchful, you are just aware. Then in the meantime, you start getting the impulse from inside, that what should be the, you see, right answer.
Because when I try to do it, I feel like there's a wild animal inside, and I'm trying to
Control it.
Yeah, to teach
Yeah.
it, or to ignore it.
In the beginning, you will feel this, but slowly you will understand that it is just a natural way the mind behaves. It is the way the mind behaves.
So it is a bit like the yogi, like the yogi's way
Huh?
of controlling.
No, then you are going in a wrong track.
So
That's a different thing. See. Then you are going in a way where you are trying to control the mind through some technique, through some method. Then by creating that friction, you acquire some kind of energy. Indirectly, which is the food for the mind and makes the mind strong for the next fight.
I didn't understand what is the difference between what you describe and that's
Difference is this, you disconnect yourself from the right understanding which is available at that moment, but you are going in the direction of mind, controlling the mind and creating a friction and generating some friction energy and getting that energy as a strength to the mind, and again preparing the mind for the next fight.
This is the yogi way.
Yeah, this is the yogi way. But yogi has, they have their own goals. They have their own goals and they use some
About
technique.
Waiting to the force.
Yeah,
This is the difference.
difference, yeah.
This little situation can happen hundreds times a day.
Every moment it is happening. It just goes on changing. And then there is a natural reaction which is creating a natural choice, which is the mind. Offering the choice whether you like it, you don't like it, whether you want it, you don't want it. This is naturally happening. So you will understand more by your own observation, by your own understanding. Now it is just a description that I am giving to you, but that doesn't mean anything.
Is yoga good for a woman? Because I was reading also talking.
Pardon, don't bring Osho, please. You share what you understand.
Like yoga, the path of yoga is good for a woman. Path of effort.
It's not the path, some path is good for a man or some path is good for a woman. The inner self, the way your being is, will find its own path. And that path is the path for you. There is no particular separate path for women and separate path for men. You have a man and woman together inside your being. Woman has a man inside, a man has a woman inside. So there is no special path for a woman and a man. The nature of your being, if you have more of the womanish quality, though you are a man, then your path will be different. If a woman has a more of the man quality, then her path will be different. Because she has a woman's body, there is no particular fixed path. And she will not be comfortable if she takes the woman's path if she has more of the man's quality. It is not the male or female, it is the man and woman. The quality inside is together. The life expresses into two polarities, yin and yang, Shiva and Shakti. These are the quality of that expression. It expresses into two dualities. And you are also an expression of life. A man and woman also is an expression of life. It expresses into that duality. Which is more stronger, yin strong or yang strong? Shakti is stronger or Shiva is stronger? It depends upon the built-up of your being, how you are born with. And you will understand automatically that wherever it just tunes you, wherever it just keeps you in harmony, that is your path. But the best path is the pathless path. All path takes you out. The inner journey is when you stop. When you stop. But that's something that we have this whole idea that Bhakti Marg is meant for women, the Gyan Marga is meant for men. It is not particularly referring to the man or woman into the body. It is particularly referred to the quality of the being. If you have a quality of the being as a feminine, then Bhakti Marg will be more easy. If you have a quality of a male, then the Gyan Marga is easy, you see. This is how it is. Huh?
Nothing with the gender.
Nothing with the physical gender.
Kiran, you say many times that we should be here now. That if we are not happy today, we will not be happy tomorrow. And then you say that it takes time. It took 10 years.
Yeah.
So how is it going together? Because
You are in a situation where I was before 10 years and I am in a situation after 10 years. So when I am speaking something from my place, that you should be here now, you should be, if you are not happy now, then you cannot be happy anytime. With my own understanding, I am speaking from that 50th floor. I am asking you to start somewhere and I am giving you the address of the door where you can enter and come to the 50th floor. This is the door, key. To be here now and to make yourself understand that if you are not happy now, you are not going to be happy anytime, is the beginning. Because this is where the mind plays the game. Mind only survives if there is tomorrow or next moment. To be here now means what? It is not a kind of practice that you have to do, but you have to wake up to that what is now. And I am explaining that what is that now. Now is the sensation. Life is flowing now, but you cannot see life. Life is creating some kind of vibrations, but you cannot see the vibration, but you can feel the vibration through your senses. So the now is creating a reaction now as the sensation to your senses. So whatever the sensation happens or whatever activates your sensation, just be available to now. That is to be now. Now if nice beautiful sun setting, the color is activating this sensation here. So I have to be now. So what is the now? To be available to the sensation and to be available to that what is creating the sensation. So I am now. You understand? So this is now, to be now. Now when you are now, you are cut off from the whole mind game with going into the past or thinking of something which I have to do, nothing. You are just there. This is the trick. To be here now means...
But it takes time.
Definitely it takes time, but at least it has to begin somewhere. It has to begin somewhere. Then leave it to the existence or life, how long you remain in that flow of now. I will tell you now, see, this is the sunset. You will be seeing that. But you will be available to the sun and to your sensation for a moment, and then your mind goes back again to something else. So again and again, this is a part of practice. But this is the beginning somewhere. If you are not happy now, you are not going to be happy tomorrow. That is what I say. And this is the truth. If you are unhappy now, then you have to find out why I am unhappy now. When I am saying that if you are not happy now, that means you are unhappy now. So you have to make yourself available to that unhappiness, and that demands your acceptance of the unhappiness. If you are available to the unhappiness now, what is happening, then you are cut off from the whole search of finding out how can I be happy, which creates a future. So when I am saying that, when I am waking you up to that point that look now, if you are not happy, that means if you cannot find the cause of your unhappiness now, then don't think that you are going to be happy any day. You understand what I am saying? So this is the beginning. To search for the cause of my unhappiness is the beginning to get to your natural state of happiness. But your searching for the happiness without looking to the unhappiness will not take you anywhere. Will not take you anywhere. And this is the mind's game. And then you go on with a hope that one day I will find the happiness. But the unhappiness continues. This is where I want to wake you up to this point, that remind you that look, this is the point where you have to look. You have to be very much awake and see. You must be very much concerned about it, that what should be the cause of my unhappiness now. So this is the devices that I am just trying to give you, and indirectly trying to hammer you somewhere.
And the same goes for happiness. You have to examine why you're happy.
That point you don't ask, because happiness is your own state. But if it is somewhere, the absence of unhappiness that you think is happiness, then you have to see.
You have to,
That you have to see. Whether it is a real happiness or it is just the mind is capable creating an absence of unhappiness. You see, that is possible. But this kind of, because even with your happy state, there is an unhappy feel there. You are not happy totally. You see. How can I be happy? Mind even questions, you know. If you really look to that point, you are totally, never you are totally happy.
are you?
Hmm?
Are you?
How can I show it to you?
This moment of seeing, for instance, such a beautiful sunset is like a wow. And then our mind also going away to the next point seems to show that I'm not happy. Or immediately I go into unhappiness. This wow is a happiness and is a full being here and now. But this going away shows, no, I'm not happy. Or is it because I want to grasp this moment of happiness, to continue it?
Happiness comes when you have no desire to be happy. When you go to the beach and look to the sunset, you don't go with a desire to be happy. When you go with a desire to be happy, you will never be happy. It just comes as you are describing as wow. It's spontaneous reaction, a spontaneous feel. That is the real happiness. That moment you are not even feeling the happiness. Because you are not separate from the happiness. There is no experience of happiness. That is why I was telling her that absence of unhappiness can be an experience of happiness. In that experience of happiness, you are never totally happy. But here you are totally into the state which is a happy state, where there is no experiencer separate from the experience. It suddenly comes as a spontaneous wow. But that wow, you don't say that. Then afterwards you just define it that I was very happy to see the sunset. But at that moment when wow came, it was not a state of unhappiness. Also it was not an experience of happiness. It was something different, beyond both. It was connecting somewhere to your own inner self, where suddenly something came as an overflowing of that emotion, overflowing of that feel that comes as if like that. We are not even aware of that moment when you are totally connected. When you are totally connected, it just overflows. Afterwards you define, the mind defines that I was very happy. Definition of mind for the happiness, that at that moment there was no unhappiness. That means I was happy. In reference to the unhappiness, at that moment there was no unhappiness. That means I was happy. That is why mind again demands and desires for going next day evening to go to the beach and watch the sunset and wait for that wow to come. It never comes. Sunsets and you are just same.
I think I'm running all the time after new wows. That's why I'm restless.
It doesn't come because now you are creating a desire out of it. That moment it was the happening without a desire. Without a desire. This is the trick of it. So just flow the way it takes you and the way it expresses at that moment. Mind is very cunning to create, because mind's whole job is to find the happiness. If you look inside, whole journey that mind takes is in search of happiness, in search of something which can make this mind free from the unhappiness. This is the whole effort of the mind. And suddenly, without my effort, how can you be happy? Just looking to the sunset, how can you be happy? The mind says, wow, this is very good. I got the chance. I got the answer. That looking to the sunset, you can be happy. Next evening, you go back with a desire to be happy. And the mind is waiting when the happiness comes, when the happiness comes, when the happiness comes, and the sun sets and goes. Happiness does not come. This is the trick of the mind. First moment when you are without a desire and you encounter that state where something allows you to connect, allows you to flow, allows you to become one, that is the moment where there is not unhappiness, not happiness, but something beyond both. And then we have a memory of this, and the mind wants to repeat. The first experience of love, the first experience of something, we carry into the memory, but then it does not come back again. Then the same person, same situation, same effort, but nothing there. Why it is so? This is because that's something which you don't understand, which can happen by itself. You are trying to make it happen, and it will never happen. It will never happen.
This morning when I saw the first beautiful shell, which we hadn't seen the other days, I had this wow. And I was overwhelmed by the light and everything around. And I felt it's too much. I was overwhelmed and a feeling of, it's too much.
Too much of what?
Of,
Joy.
yes.
Yeah, but then your eyes immediately starts flowing with the tears. It starts because there is a cooling system there. The moment there is something too much of joy which the body cannot bear, immediately the tears starts flowing. Or you start dancing to express the extra energy. That is the spontaneous reflex action.
Joy, I think,
What is the smell that's coming?
combined with a bit of fear also.
Yeah, but the mind goes into fear because that is something which is available without any effort. Now if I lose it, it wants to repeat. That is a fear. It's a chemical smell.
Yeah, it's to keep away the mosquitoes.
Okay. You don't keep me away from that.
Because you try to bite something.
You like
I am biting.
Yeah, you like a mosquito.
You understand what I'm saying? If you are understanding something, then flow wherever the life, each expression, the moment you tune, the moment you are available, the moment you become one, gives you the same feel. A smile of a little child, the flowering of the flower, anything, even the movement of the leaves of the tree, just puts you into the same space. What you need is to see that the trick that you approach that point without a desire. And desire is to be happy, to get the joy. If you are still with the desire, you miss it. You miss it all the time.
Okay, I started out walking with a desire of,
Enjoying the walk.
Something, seeing the countryside and the people.
And you will be exhausted. You will not see anything.
That's why I went that way. Why did I not go that way? Yesterday I went, saw something new and what is there and maybe something.
But you begin with a wrong point of creating a desire. If you just go like that, then you will enjoy. That is what in Zen language they say Zazen. Just without a purpose. Just sitting, just looking, just walking, just doing. That means without a purpose. And that is the point where it allows you to connect. It allows you to tune. And that is the secret of it. We know all this, but we are not clear about it.
By the way, I had many moments this morning, more every day these days, of this wow.
Is it not so that the mind cannot stand it, that it is not needed anymore?
Yeah, mind goes into frustration. It goes into very strong reaction.
Like, what about me? And I said, I don't need you. Go away, go on holiday. I'm on holiday here, you can go as well.
Yeah.
Isn't it like that?
Yes. We'll slowly start seeing your own mind, how it is creating the reactions, how it is putting you into some games. You will by yourself start seeing. I am sharing what I see inside me. I have the same mind, but now that mind is no more the master. Now with you, sometimes it is master, sometimes not. When it is master, you become that. You are so identified, then you forget that there is a mind which you are watching or which you are conscious of. You become one. At that moment, you follow whatever mind is taking you, wherever mind is taking you. So slowly, when you start observing, start watching, slowly, you will see that you start becoming separate as a witness, as an observer from the mind. So then slowly, that mind does not control you. Does not control you. You means that force, life force, the consciousness. Does not mean that you are free from the mind. There is a mind. Because there is a point where you are going to receive the reactions. Today too much of mind.
Yeah, let's change the subject.
Mind in its proper place, mind is the servant and not the master.
Right. That is the relaxed place for the mind. And for you also, because once you are totally free from this whole identification, not that life demands the identification, you have the identification, but automatically it gets detached when it is not required. So that natural way it happens, but then you don't create a permanent mind out of your non-acceptance. So there it will change. So whenever there is demand from life to create the mind, to create the attachment, to create and go into the area of knowledge, there is a mind, then there is an ego for action. You need an ego, you need an identification there. So this happens along with the functioning. The moment the functioning is over, it's finished. But that naturally happens.
What is love? You never ask any question about love.
This is not, the love is not something that to be expressed through words. I have to get up and hug you, that's love. Love is an expression. It's not something that you express through the words, but you express to your own feel, your own responses. It's a reflection there. And you cannot translate it or you cannot define it. Like, what is beauty? How can you explain it? What is that sweetness of the sugar? How will you express it? It's your inner feel, inner knowing of something which has nothing to do with the knowledge about that. You see, the beauty in the woman has nothing to do with the form or the expression of the body. It is something beyond. It is something very similar to the beauty of a flower, beauty of the sunset, beauty of everything that is there. It is something which takes you into that tuning, into that harmony, you see. So love, beauty, everything is the same expression of that harmony. That harmony when it happens, that tuning when it happens, you feel love, you understand beauty. That is your inner feel. But that cannot be expressed. So it's a futile question that what is love?
Kiran, there's a point when I'm not sure about accepting something as it is, and then, an action to build this garden. It's not. They didn't find the garden as is. I mean, as is, it wasn't like this, right? It was an action that created this beauty. So when you're accepting what is, and then you also have this creativity, it's finding whether it's coming from an impulse or your mind that flows you whether to do something or not. Because that's where I seem to have a lot of confusion about whether to change something or just say, okay, this place is dirty and I just accept it because it's dirty. Or I take some action because I like beauty and clean the room and put some flowers and, make it nice. That's an action.
Wherever you have the inner feel of harmony, tuning, wherever you have inner feel of relaxation, it is always the result of your impulse, following the path of the impulse. Wherever you have a disturbance as a reaction, wherever you have confusion, wherever you have a fear, this is somewhere coming from the mind's way. So if you want to verify, already you have gone into action, you have done something, and if you want to verify what exactly is, then verify with this, that which state you are now in that whole thing. If you are standing in a garden that you have created and you feel so tuned, so much into harmony, then it must be following your impulse, the way it wanted to be. Like, have you seen a painter painting a picture?
Yeah.
Every brush that he gives, and he goes back and looks. What does he look? Is it in harmony? Isn't it? When the musician plays the instrument, he is trying to find out the harmony with the tune, with the sound. So this is following your impulse. That means you are following the harmony with the outside expression of life. Because the inner impulse is always going towards in the harmony of the outer expression, the way life is expressing, it is always into the harmony. So you have to, if you want to check out there, check out whether it is bringing a harmony or not, whether it is giving you that relaxed feel or not. You understand what I'm saying?
We're almost there. If you could talk a little more. It's like, okay, I'm an artist, right? So I want to beautify things. But what right do I have to do that? If something's the way it is, what right is it of mine to change everything around to make it what I think is more beautiful?
But then your definition of beauty is totally different. Then you have an idea of beauty, and you have an idea of something, accordingly you want to change it.
Yeah, so I think there's ugly and
Yeah, that is coming from the mind.
okay.
Anything that begins with a purpose, with a desire, any change or anything that happens, and then you feel harmony, in both the way the action is involved. You see. But are you following, if you are following the impulse, then it's a force. It's a force which tells you to do something where you have no answer. But you follow the force and you do something. The action is involved. When the action is involved and the results are coming, you feel the harmony there. But if you desire for a change, a desire for a beautifying something, then you are following an idea, what you concept about beauty, and you are following something to change. You are also going to the action. But that going to the action, and you, after you just do it and you stand there, you will still something is missing. Something has to be changed. So what is exactly has gone wrong, you don't know. Even if you do everything that you feel that is the idea of beautification, even after doing that, still you feel that something is missing. Like people build the house. They build the house with an idea that this is the way my house should be. When the house is built, they go inside the house and they feel that something is missing. They don't feel the harmony. What is missing is the harmony. Because you go with a concept, with an idea of something which you think which is beautiful. Beauty is the harmony, not your idea.
Okay, that was it.
See many couples, when I start thinking that the woman is so ugly, but the man says she is so beautiful because he found the harmony in her or she found the harmony in him. Both are so much into love, but outwardly if you like that, you know how they can go together. But ask them. Laila and Majnu story, you know that. You have to see the Laila with the eyes of Majnu. Laila was such an ugly woman. The Majnu was the prince, the son of a king. And the king was offering him that I give you hundreds of women who are more beautiful than Laila. Why you are after her? But then the answer given by Majnu was, you have to see Laila from my eyes. That eyes is where you are in harmony. Then you see the beauty, which normally you don't see. That is why there is no definition of beauty. That if there is a 3-inch long nose or 2.5-inch ears or the eyes should be like this, there is no definition of beauty. Beauty is wherever you find the harmony, wherever you find the oneness, the tuning, that is the beauty.
Ran, you see a person and first time and suddenly some irritation come. You cannot accept this person.
I am not following your...
No,
Repeat again.
Yes. I want to ask, you said about when you see a person and you love this person because of harmony happens. I want to ask about opposite side. If you see a person, some irritation, anger come, or different feeling, unpleasant feeling. I understood in this moment something in this person I have and I don't like in myself. But in future, probably if I accept this one, I can accept this person or no. This harmony.
There are two different things. When you are seeing one person, the frequency of your energy vibration, when it tunes, what I am talking about, the harmony means wherever your energy vibration tunes with the other people's energy vibration, there is always a harmony. Wherever it is not matching, even if you don't know that person, you start feeling something you don't like. It is automatic reaction that comes because there is no harmony at that energy level, you see. So immediately you start feeling that I don't like this person. Even if you are not friendly to that person, you are unknown to that person, just a person sit close to you in your airplane or in your bus seat, just a neighbor. So this is something with the energy frequency vibrations there. But sometimes with the mind also, that we have an image of something which you like and somebody is not fitting into that image you don't like. So that also mind's reaction. But this is a feel when you start feeling without any knowledge about somebody, you start feeling something that disturbing, then it is the energy which is telling you that no, you cannot tune. You cannot tune with this person. But if you have the image of somebody and that person does not fit into the image, you don't like. When you don't like, you reject that person. So this is at mind level, at energy level, you have different feel. But the energy level feel, what I call beauty, is the feel of the energy level where you are feeling the harmony, where you are feeling something. The Majnu did not have the image of a Laila, that what kind of woman I should have. He had no image of the beautiful woman. But because there is a harmony at the energy level, it was nice. So this is what is, that you have to understand whether your mind is rejecting or whether your feel is not saying yes. That you have to see inside.
I mean, a little bit different. Sometimes I want to say it about one example. Few years ago, I saw one women's, and when I saw this women's, every time my hatred, I hate her, I hate her. I haven't reason to hate her, but I don't know, it's torture me. It's probably was 2 weeks every day I see this woman and I hate her without any reason. And I ask myself why it's happened. And suddenly I catch on this woman. I hate in her game. She played this game, I also played this game. We are same. And I hate this game inside me. Because of that it's like my projection. And when I accept this one, we become friends. It's like tuning happened.
That is at the mind level where I was describing that you have first the image which you were hating.
Yeah.
Now that image which you already have inside and you start loving, you definitely start loving that image. That is the mind's level.
It's only image.
Yeah. So the moment the image changes, your hatred starts again. You understand what I am saying? So it is not permanent thing that the tuning has happened and the harmony will remain there. It goes on changing the way the images are changing.
Yes, of course, if my feeling about me is changed.
So it looks like you are finished with all the problems, all the questions.
This projection is from the mind, or like she's talking about hate. It can change into harmony, or
It can go on changing. The mind is always, according to the expectations, according to the fulfillment of desire, it goes on changing its own projections. The same person where you were hating before, if he is useful to you for your expectations, your fulfillment of desire, you go into loving that person, liking that person. Up to that point, so far as he fulfills your desire, he fulfills your expectations. The moment he does not, it changes.
But isn't that called manipulation?
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same. But for that period, you become friendly to that person. The enemy becomes friends if they tune into the same expectations. The moment the expectations goes, you become again the enemy.
the same with Laila Majnu also, or
Laila Majnu was different story of the tuning with the energy level. There is nothing to do with expectations of the mind. It was a pure love. That is why we give an example of, when we give an example of love, Laila Majnu is the example. You see. Disappeared?
Things are pulling me here and there. out of my hands.
Mhm. So last 7 days we have been sharing something together, and we have taken a journey together in exploring the layers of mind, in understanding the way life is, and by the by we have taken somewhere some clarity which can help you, which you can hold as a torch in your hand for your further journey with that understanding. You have to take the journey by your own. The whole effort during these 7 days was to teach you how you can walk by your own feet, how you can see by your own eyes. This was the whole effort. It was not an effort to give you something to hold or give you some ready-made answers. If you have understood something, then just use your understanding, apply in your life, and you will see that slowly you are free. That freedom is our natural state that has to come by itself. By searching for the freedom, you will go on binding yourself to so many things. Understand what is the cause of my bondage, and you are free. This is what I was sharing all these 7 days. I hope some clarity, some understanding, if that is happened, hold that clarity which is yours.